So now we've done some prep for downward facing dog, some progression towards the posture and some wrist stretch. Let's come into the full posture here. We're going to come in from child's pose. So come towards the back of your mat, bring your big toes to touch, separate your knees for your child's pose, walk your hands forward and drop down. Stretch the arms as much as you can out towards the front of the mat. Spread your fingers. Before you come down, have a look at your hands and make sure that your hands are shoulder distance apart with the fingers nice and spread. Press through the thumb and first finger. As you exhale, take a breath and relax your head down. Breathe the back ribs open. Firm your outer arms, where your outer arms and your triceps are. Take them in and roll a little of your inner arm up to the ceiling. So the biceps start to roll up. Your hands are in the perfect place here. Come up, all fours. Separate your feet so that they're hip distance apart. Bring a little weight over your thumbs. Press down through that thumb and first finger. Go ahead, tuck the toes here. Start to lift the hips up. Press away from your fingertips. At the beginning, keep a bend in your knees. I'm keeping a bend in the knees so I can really lift the underside of the buttocks up. So I want you to look at my waist. If I'm doing this too much, I'm pulling my rib cage to the floor. You're going to see a cut kind of in my lower back. So draw a little bit of your waist, a little bit of your belly up here to support this. My ears are around where my arms are. Keep lifting the underside of the buttock up. And then begin to straighten the legs. Squeeze the legs up straight. So I've got really high up off my tippy toes here for a breath. Inhale. And then exhale, come down. Let that particular posture right there, let that settle. You're going to take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale. So we'll go up again the same way. Now, when you're very stiff in your hamstrings, what ends up happening is this sort of, we call it like the rainbow, where all of your weight gets pushed forward into your shoulders instead of being able to put them back into your legs. So it looks more like this, right? Especially when you straighten your legs, if you don't have that hip hamstring accessibility. So which is why when we come in, we bend the knees and see if we can get a long spine. So if you take a look at that spine, how long it is from the fingertips, the hips go straight up. And then when you have that sense of length in your spine, then you can start to stretch out and try and get the legs straight. And then maybe one at a time instead. So this is called walking the dog out. Walk one leg out straight, bend the knee. Walk one leg out, stretch, bend the knee. If you feel like, again, when you start to stretch those legs straight, you pull the weight forward. And then work more on tipping the hips up, getting really long in the spine, and start to take the chest up towards your hips, and then maybe firming the legs again, maybe with the heels up. And then the final pose is exhale, your heels towards the ground. They don't always necessarily get there right away. It might take a couple of years. Don't be disheartened. You squeeze your belly in, press down, spread the fingers. The fingers are shoulder distance apart. Your feet are hip distance apart. Your toes, your outer edges of your feet are parallel to each other. And this is where we learn to squeeze and lift the kneecaps. Firm your thighs a lot when you get your legs straight. Work on now getting the sensitivity to squeeze the quadriceps and hold them in a steady contraction onto your thighs. Press the tops of the thighs back, and then you can come down again and release down and rest in child's pose. One of the most important lessons that we learn in our downward facing dog is this learning how to grip the quadricep muscles. So the definition of strength isn't necessarily how much you can bench press. It's being able to access a part of the body, a muscle or a muscle group, and with your command, right, with this neural pathway that you either have open or you don't, you can contract it, 100% of it, and hold it contracted. And then you can relax it, 100% of it, whenever you want. So that's really having control, strength, right? And a way to move in your body that's real power. So we're not looking necessarily to do the hardest poses, we're looking for more sophistication in the body. And these movements, when you move in and out of them slowly and progress slowly, it will give you that intelligence and that sophistication in the body where you, as you grow older, right, you'll be able to be more upright, agile, more mobility, and the joints will start to open up rather than getting tighter and actually more closed down. So downward facing dog, also known as Adho Mukha Svanasana.